Fake TikTok accounts for nearly 24 teachers and staff members in the Great Valley School District and school. Officials say the impersonators are students, and officials believe it's the first attack on teachers like this in the country.
Jeff, this is getting lots of attention. The superintendent addressing this issue today.
He did. He actually spoke to the press at 2 o'clock this afternoon after we all called and wanted to speak to him. The superintendent of schools says that he is very disappointed by the actions of the middle school students, while the local police department says it is monitoring the situation. School officials say it was late February when they first learned of a TikTok post impersonating a middle school teacher created by a student in the Great Valley Middle School. Within days, there were more. According to the New York Times, which first reported the story, the videos include pedophilia, innuendo, racist means, homophobia, and made-up sex hookups by teachers.
Our students' behavior has truly wounded the staff here at Great Valley. I want to assure our staff that we have your back. We are going to continue to support you. We will hold students accountable.
The superintendent says the district investigated, contacted local police, and now believes some 22 fake accounts were created by students in the name of teachers, and it hasn't stopped yet.
Unfortunately, we do know that accounts have continued to be created throughout the summer months. It's disheartening.
The Great Valley School District says it has taken action against students it knows created some of the false accounts, but wouldn't say what the actions are and argues it's limited by the students' right to free speech. The head of the local teachers union says her members want to instruct students on how to responsibly use social media.
We're heartbroken because what we do is educate our students, and we would never want to see anyone make choices that would hurt their reputation.
The local chief of police says, along with the Chester County DA, they are monitoring the situation, while an area resident wants a get tough approach.
There should be criminal charges, bro.
Criminal charges?
Absolutely. I mean, they have to learn at a young age. You can't do something and just get a smack on the head. You have to be punished. You have to pay for what you do.
We know of no criminal charges at this point. In fact, the district was very careful not to talk, at least publicly, as to what the actions were against the student. The district says this was mostly 8th grade students doing this off of school property. A school district source says at least some of the students were, in fact, suspended. Live in Malvern, I'm Jeff Cole, Fox 29 News. Folks.
All right, well, hopefully some of those actions that were taken, Jeff, is enough for the teachers who were wrangled up in all of this mess here. All right, Jeff, thank you. An innocent bystander shot just blocks from the boardwalk in Wildwood, and Greg is following the investigation for us tonight. Greg?
Yeah, well, Sheba, I mean, this is a situation that a lot of people all around the town have been talking about. And one of the major concerns is the fact that the suspect, who police identified as William Hoyle, is still on the loose. As many people are walking the boardwalk and enjoying the beach, just 3 blocks away, people are in shock.
I was scared. I don't know. It's my first time hearing gunshots. We don't have that in our country. So, yeah, American experience.
Tuesday night, Ani Jananyan, who is a J1 student from Armenia, captured the moments after gunfire erupted down the street from her home.
I saw a few people running, and then when I saw someone running that way, I suspected that it was the shooter. I closed the door a few seconds, and then when police came, I got a bit relaxed because I thought that it's now a bit safe.
Police say Tuesday at around 10:30 p.m., a shooting occurred on the 3800 block of Pacific Avenue. The shooting resulted in an innocent bystander being hit by gunfire. That person is now in the hospital in critical condition. Fox 29 has learned that the victim works at Ocean Oasis Water Park and is an international student. The park releasing a statement saying, in part, "We are a family and we are working to provide support to our employee and her family during this incredibly challenging time. The news has deeply affected all of us, and we are committed to doing everything in our power to assist her and her loved ones. Our hearts and prayers are with them."
It was gut-wrenching. It was another incident. There's just incident after incident, and this one just really set me back again. You know, I have little ones, and I'm 2 blocks away.
Christine McKinstry is a lifelong resident of Wildwood and is still in shock of this most recent incident. Police are currently searching for the suspect identified as William C. Hoyle and are asking for the public's help to locate him.
It sent shivers down my spine because it's just This isn't what Wildwood's about. It's just a tourist town that everybody's supposed to come down and have fun, go to the water park like we did yesterday, go to the beaches and have fun, not wake up to hearing that a poor young lady was shot and in critical condition.
Now, police say if you have any information in regards to the whereabouts of Hoyle, to contact the Wildwood Police Department. Reporting live here in Wildwood, I'm Greg Payne, Fox 29 News.
They definitely need to hear from folks out there. Greg, thank you. This just in, the man police say sexually assaulted a woman at a South Philly Dollar Tree store has turned himself in. The attack gaining national attention, even rapper Meek Mill tweeting today that he would award $2,000 to the person who finds him. Police identified him as 35-year-old Gary Miles. His surrender happening after disturbing video circulated on social media appearing to show the end of the assault. It happened at the store located at Snyder Plaza on East Snyder Street on June 23rd. Police say a mugshot will be released once charges are officially filed. 35-year-old Gary Miles made national headlines accused of a disturbing crime against a woman at a South Philadelphia Dollar Tree. Philly rapper Meek Mill even offering a reward to find the suspect who turned himself in 2 days ago. Well, tonight we are learning more about Miles' criminal past and hearing from a woman who says she was a victim of his years ago. She spoke with our Shawnette Wilson and said she was stunned to hear his name again. It is an interview you will only see on Fox 29.
Court documents show this mother and daughter were victimized by the suspect, and they say this latest incident has them reliving their trauma.
No one knew that he's been kind of lurking around.
Pictures released by Philadelphia police flooded social media after a woman records a man running out of the South Philly Dollar store in Snyder Plaza after she says the man sexually assaulted her inside on June 23rd. Police say Gary Miles later turned himself in and is facing charges.
The name popped out, and then when I looked at the mugshot, I was like, that's him.
Deja Coleman and her mom, Serena Daniels, were not only shocked to hear what happened, but say it's the same man who broke into their home and exposed himself more than a decade ago.
Because I think it's been kept quiet, he was allowed to continue to terrorize.
They say Miles took a plea deal, so they feel their case didn't get as much attention as this latest assault.
He's doing the same stuff even now.
Deja recalls waking up to Miles standing at the bed where she slept next to her mom, who was pregnant.
See a man over my mother. He's exposing himself.
Miles was arrested and had several court appearances.
He had said he had been in her house several times before the day that we saw him.
Court documents reveal several other incidents involving Miles. He has arrests in Montgomery and Clinton counties in PA dating back to 2011. The various charges include indecent exposure, open lewdness, and disorderly conduct. In one case, he was sentenced to up to a year in jail, but all others he was given probation. In one, a judge also ordered a psychosexual evaluation. In Serena and her daughter's case, court documents state he was sentenced to 2 to 4 years.
He minimally served 2 years because I was getting alerts every time he was something came up with him.
Serena is relieved Miles turned himself in for the dollar store assault, but she has doubts about justice being served.
They let him play out to a very simple, same thing, lewdness, breaking and entering. He hasn't changed. He hasn't stopped.
Reporting outside police headquarters, Shawnette Wilson, Fox 29 News.
A clerk at a corner store in Frankfurt was shot and killed during a robbery. Let's get right out to Hank with the latest on that.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Police might not have found him, actually, for more time had they not been flagged down by a frantic woman out on the corner there at Levick and Pratt, who indicated to them that there was a man alone dead behind the counter in this convenience store, guys. It was at the Frankfurt convenience store there again at the corner of Pratt and Levick. That is where police say they found a man lying behind the counter. They say preliminary info is that this is a 37-year-old employee who's believed to be working alone behind the counter at the time. They say that spent shell casings found by the body, which is lying by the register with a couple of loose bills around it, tell the story of a robbery that went wrong.
Now, the scene consists of 5 spent shell casings in the employee area on the floor. So we know at least 5 shots were fired from a semi-automatic weapon, since we found 5 spent shell casings on the floor. These shell casings were just a few feet away from where we found the victim laying on the floor in the employee section. The cash register is open, and there are several bills on the floor. So there's a possibility that this was some sort of robbery that took place.
And 15th District Police are still investigating. That shot counterman who was hit multiple times in the shoulder and chest, also in the armpit, was taken immediately to Temple University Hospital, where he was pronounced dead just before 1 a.m. Now, police say, guys, as is the case with most convenience stores in the city in 2024, there were a slew of surveillance cameras inside, all over the inside, and a couple of them outside as well. You can bet police are going through all of that to give themselves the best idea of exactly who they should be pursuing to bring to justice in this particular crime. If you have any information on it whatsoever, do give Philadelphia police a call.
Right now, former Philadelphia labor leader John Dougherty has been sentenced 6 years in federal prison for bribing a city council member and stealing nearly $600,000 from the union he ran for nearly 3 decades. Jeff, it has been a long day in court.
Certainly has been. These kinds of sentencings can be like that. Listen, Sheba, on the day of the start of John Dougherty's first federal trial in 2021, he told reporters, I was one of them. He had committed 0 crimes. He had done nothing wrong. Today, he told a federal judge he was, in fact, guilty. Former union boss John Dougherty embraces his supporters after learning his fate on the 5th floor of the federal courthouse in Reading. 6 years in federal prison, 3 years supervision afterwards.
Listen, I told you, he's a fair judge, okay? I'm the boss. When you're the boss, everything stops with you.
The 64-year-old ex-union boss who built Local 98 of the Electrical Workers Union into a regional construction and political powerhouse faced sentencing on federal bribery and embezzlement convictions. Federal prosecutors asked for a maximum of 14 years in prison. Dougherty afterwards spoke of his accomplishments.
We built Philadelphia, East Market Street, you name it, the Navy Yard. They all started on our watch. Judge was fair, jury was fair, nothing you can do about it. Okay?
With all that accomplishment, are you regretful of how this has ended up?
I can't fix it. You know what I'm doing? I'm going home to watch Jaws 2 with my wife.
A jury found Dougherty had bribed former city councilman Bobby Heenan with a union salary while Heenan held his council seat, and found Dougherty guilty of using union funds for pricey meals, trips, even groceries for himself, family, and friends.
Our goal was to win our cases, which we did, and hold them accountable, which we did. So we feel we accomplished our goal.
In court, Dougherty's daughters asked the judge to allow him to serve his sentence at home to care for his ailing wife. But he'll report to prison in early September. You're going to spend 6 years away from her, John.
Well, listen, we'll see.
I think John's community work, his charitable work, all came back to help him.
Now, in court today, a number of people spoke to the judge about Dougherty's community work. He is, in fact, credited with doing much to help folks who are underserved in the community. But the judge simply could not look past the 2 big federal convictions that federal prosecutors had won against John Dougherty, and he was sentenced today. In court to watch him be sentenced, State Supreme Court Judge Kevin Dougherty, his brother, who serves on the Supreme Court here in the state of Pennsylvania. It was the electrical workers, in fact, the work of John Dougherty, his political work, that helped elect his brother to the court. And today he was here to watch his brother be sentenced. At the federal court in Reading, I'm Jeff Cole, Fox 29 News. Sheba.
An interesting comment about Jaws 2 there, Jeff. Somehow a reference to the sharks out there? I don't know. Why did he say that?
Well, Dougherty that is very much who he is. He is not someone who is shy. So, of course, you heard him there talking about his accomplishments. We rebuilt Philadelphia. That is the John Dougherty you know. And the idea about going home to watch a film, that's not unlike Dougherty at all. That's who he is. He is glib. He talks in that way. I don't think, Sheba, frankly, it was any other reference other than he will probably go home, sit with his ailing wife, and, in fact, watch a film. But on September 4th of this year, he will show up at a federal prison somewhere, or at least turn himself in and serve some 6 years, possibly, without her.
All right, Jeff Cole, thank you.
And we're following breaking news in North Philadelphia. A toddler and 2 teenagers were shot. All 3 victims expected to be okay. Our Shawnette Wilson is at the scene. Shawnette, what can you tell us?
Well, Jason, we're about a block and a half away from that scene, which police began to clear just minutes ago. But what we can tell you, as you just mentioned, that 3 young people have been shot. 2 of them were taken to Temple Hospital. 1 of them is at Jefferson Hospital right now. So as we take a look at some video, here's what we can tell you happened. According to police, this all happened just around 8:30 tonight here in North Philly. This happened at the 1300 block of North 11th Street near Master. Police found a 2-year-old boy shot in the leg. They say he's been shot once or twice, and a 15-year-old girl also shot in the leg. Now, police took them to Temple, but they will be transferred to St. Chris once they are stabilized this evening. They are related, and people tell us that both of them do live at a house on 11th Street, and that they were outside their house when they were hit by stray gunfire. Now, police also tell us that minutes later, a 17-year-old boy showed up at Jefferson Hospital, shot in the ankle, and said he had been in the area of this shooting. He is also in stable condition at this hour. Police telling us a barrage of gunfire spanned 2 blocks.
We know that over 30 shots were fired from a semi-automatic weapon or weapons. We found over 30 spent shell casings, and they span from the 1300 block of North 11th to the 1400 block of North 11th Street, which is a 2-block area. We don't know who the intended target is.
All right, and police tell us that there is a lot of home security cameras in this area and that they have been reviewing videos so far. They say that one of them shows a white SUV with tinted windows, and someone gets out of the passenger side of that SUV and starts firing. That car then continues going north on 11th Street. So, again, police are up in air and also on foot looking for this vehicle tonight. But, again, 3 young people, one 17 years old, a shot in the ankle, also a 15-year-old and 2-year-old in the hospital with gunshot wounds to their legs. Back to you.
Just a shame, Shawnette. The kids can't even go outside and play these days. All right, thank you.